The library window. Emma was an 11-year-old girl who lived in a noisy, crowded city filled with tall buildings and fast cars. Every morning she walked to school with her headphones on, music playing in her ears and her eyes glued to her tablet screen. She liked watching funny videos, playing mobile games, and chatting with her friends online. On her way to school, Emma passed an old building with large arched windows and a wooden sign that said Public Library since 1922. She never paid attention to it. To her, it looked boring, just a place full of dusty old books. "I don't like reading," she would often say to her mom. "It's slow and there are too many words. I like pictures and sound and fast things." Her mom would smile and say, "Books are quiet magic, Emma. You, you just haven't found the right one yet." Emma didn't believe that. Magic was in games, not in black and white pages. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, everything changed. Emma had finished school early, but her mom was running late from work. The weather had turned cold and gray, and heavy raindrops splashed against the pavement. She sat under a bus stop shelter and pulled out her tablet. But just a few minutes in, the battery died with a soft beep. "Ugh, great," she muttered, annoyed. Her phone was dead too. She looked around. No shops nearby, no other kids, just the sound of rain and her own boredom. Then, across the street, she noticed the old library again. The warm light from the window seemed to glow in the cold. For the first time, she was curious. With a sigh, she crossed the street and pushed open the heavy wooden door. A soft bell rang. The inside was completely different from what she had imagined. It was warm and quiet. Wooden shelves stretched from floor to ceiling. The air smelled of paper, ink, and something sweet, maybe cinnamon from someone's tea. A cat lay curled on a pillow near the radiator. Behind a tall desk sat a kind-looking elderly woman, with silver hair tied in a bun. She looked up from her book and smiled. "Hello there, dear, escaping the rain?" Emma nodded, a bit shy. "My mom's picking me up, but she's late." "Well," said the librarian, "you're welcome to stay as long as you like. Would you like something to read while you wait?" Emma hesitated. "I don't really read." The librarian stood and walked to a shelf labeled Children's Adventures. She pulled out a small book with a colorful cover showing a girl opening a secret door in a garden wall. "Here," she said, gently handing it to Emma. "Just give it 5 minutes. Sometimes 5 minutes is all it takes to start an adventure." Emma didn't want to be rude, so she took the book and sat down on a soft chair by the window. She opened it and began to read. At first she read slowly. The words felt unfamiliar, but soon the story pulled her in. The girl in the story had found a hidden key, which opened a magical garden where flowers talked and animals danced. Emma was surprised she liked it. She could see the scenes in her mind. She forgot the cold, the rain, even the time. When her mom finally arrived, soaked from the rain, Emma didn't even notice. "Emma, I'm so sorry I'm late." Emma looked up, her eyes bright. "Mom, can I borrow this book, please?" Her mom looked surprised and happy. "Of course you can." That was the beginning. Emma returned to the library the next day, and the next. Every week she borrowed more books, stories of pirates, astronauts, brave animals, and curious children. She began to write short stories in her notebook and even drew pictures to go with them. At school, her teachers noticed a change. Emma raised her hand more often. She used new words. Her writing became stronger, more creative. Her teacher once asked, "Emma, Where are all these amazing ideas coming from? Emma replied with a smile. From books. They fill my brain with windows, and I can see so many worlds through them. By the end of the year, Emma had read more than 30 books. She started a book club with her classmates and even gave a short speech about her favorite story during school assembly. A year later, she entered a writing contest for children and won first prize. The award came with a certificate, a small trophy, and a gift card for, of course, a bookstore. When the librarian heard the news, she baked cookies and invited Emma to read her story aloud at the library. A crowd of parents, children, and even the mayor came to listen. Emma stood in the same spot where she had once sat, bored and cold. But now she stood tall, smiling, full of confidence. She read her story out loud, and the audience clapped warmly. After the reading, she walked up to the librarian and gave her a hug. "Thank you," she said. "You changed everything." The librarian smiled and said, "I didn't do much. I just gave you a door. You opened it." Years passed, and Emma grew up to become a children's author. In every book she wrote, there was always a girl, a rainy day, and a magical library window. And on the very first page of her very first book, she wrote, "To the librarian who gave me my first story, thank you for opening the window to my world."